Hello everyone, RS Jafar today here. I'm joined by my 4th grade class for a live video on how to create a cool Goku, Kamehameha, or Naruto, or I think Naruto does this too, something similar. But it's like this charge effect. Oh yeah. And it's basically a charge effect, like, if you play Street Fighter, the Hadouken, same kind of idea. So I'm going to show you how to get it started. The first thing is that I've uploaded the picture that we took as a class for you to use. So you're going to need that original picture first. So you're going to head over to Microsoft's your Microsoft 365 account, which is office.com. You're going to click on the Teams application. You might see a welcome screen or something. You just exit that out. But you basically want to go to your ACTE 4B or 4A class. So I'm just going to click there. You'll see a screen that looks similar to this. I'm giving you a little welcome there. But if it says Teams here, you're in the right place. And right in here, if you're on Teams here, you'll see a Files tab here. Not this Files. This is different. I want you to go to this Files tab for ACTE and your grade. So I go here, and I go to Photoshop Project Pictures. I just click on the words Photoshop Project. And if you scroll down, you should see your name somewhere on this list. My name is obviously Arash, so I'm going to go on this one. And I'm going to click these little 3 dots and click download. That's step 1. It's going to download to my downloads folder. So I'm going to go down here to my file explorer and go to my downloads folder. Let's go to downloads here. Downloads. And there's my Arash folder, my Arash image right there. I also want to save this picture to my folder instead of downloads because that's not safe. Is it, kids?
No.
So I'm going to right click here on the file explorer and go to File Explorer. And now I have a second window on the side. I put them side by side, go to Documents, double click on my 4th grade folder. This is for 4B, so I'll do it there. And I'm just going to take my picture and drag it over so it's in my 4B folder. All right, so that's set. I can close those two. Bye-bye. The next thing is I'm going to go and open Photoshop. So I have Photoshop open, ready to go. Go open your Photoshop program, and you're going to go to File, Open. You're going to navigate to your folder. So I'm just going to go to Libraries, Documents, and I saved mine in 4B. So I'm going to double click on my picture, and there I am. All right, my Hadouken ready to go, except it's kind of sad because I don't have my cool effect. So the first thing we're going to add is a cool little ring that looks like I'm harnessing the power of the Classcraft universe. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, some kind of magical thingy. That's not in the real world, but it's for fun. Yeah. So we're going to add a ring. I'm going to click and hold this little tool over here, and you'll see the ellipse tool. You can see right here it says ellipse tool. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to make an ellipse. Now, before you make the ellipse, you want to make sure that this option up here says shape. Your fill should have this slash through it, which means it has nothing to fill. And the stroke is going to be white. We're going to color it later. And then the thickness of the stroke, or how many points it is, I'm going to set mine up as 6 for now, but I might change it. We'll see. Enter. And I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to create a ring like that. Ooh. There's my ring. I think that looks okay. So I made a little ring for myself there. If you don't like it, you can just delete this layer and try it again. Like that. Just drag it to the trash can and try it again. I kind of like that one, but I'll just draw another one. There. All right, so there's my ring. All set. Looks good. Another thing I'm going to do to this ring is I'm going to add a glow effect to it. So I'm going to double click right here. And I'm going to go to Outer Glow. Click on the words Outer Glow. And I'm going to increase the size. Check this out. Bam! I got a little glow effect going on my ring. All right, it's not bad so far. Click OK there. The other thing I want to do is make the actual effect. So this is the fun part. I'm going to make a new layer like this. I'm going to call this like Blast or something. So I just double click it, call it Blast. And I'm going to go over here to my elliptical marquee tool. This is a little bit different. I'm going to choose the elliptical marquee tool and make a selection that's kind of in the shape of the blast. So I'm going to click and drag and make a big old oval like that and move it a little bit. Put it right in front of my hand. I think that looks pretty cool right there. And what I want to do is fill it. But before I fill it, I want to really feather the edges. Because if I fill it right now, if I go over here and I choose the color white for my foreground, and I press Alt Backspace, which is the shortcut to fill, it's too sharp. That's not right. I don't want that. Let me undo that. Instead, I want to make it fuzzy. So I'm going to go to Select, Modify, and choose Feather. Feather makes the edges very blurry, just kind of like what we did with the pumpkin project. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to choose an amount like around 100. I think it's pretty good. But if it's not good, we can just undo it again. But I think it's good. 100. And then I'm going to now fill it. So white color, Alt, Backspace. Ah, that's pretty cool already. Okay, it's getting there. It's getting there. I'm going to select and deselect it to get rid of those marching ants. And so now I want to add some cool effects to this. One thing I want to do to it is make it look like it's spiraling, like it's like full of energy. So I'm going to go to Filter, and who remembers which one I choose? Liquefy. So here's my liquefy effect. I'm on the forward warp, or smudge kind of tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around and just make this kind of like spiral thing. Like spiral it out. Like it's like... And I can even like smudge it like it's like flames almost, you know? So have fun with this one. I love playing around with this. It's so fun. And I do the same thing on the bottom. I'm just kind of smudging it. And if you don't like it, you can just press Control Z if you want and undo what you did. But I'm cool with this right now. So I'm just going to keep going here. So I'm just going to kind of do this kind of flame effect until I'm happy with it. Sorry, it's not perfect, but I'm sure you guys are okay with that. There you go. Doesn't have to be perfect. That's right. Thank you. That's nice of you to say. Okay, now I got this like flame effect going. Bam! All right. And I'm going to blur it a little bit because I think it's a little bit too intense. So I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. This is optional depending on how yours is. I'm going to make mine a little more blurry. Like that. Yeah. All right. So there we go. I kind of got this Kamehameha kind of effect. The other thing I want to do is start giving it some texture. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and duplicate this layer. I'm going to duplicate it, make a copy. To duplicate it, I just click and drag it to the new layer button. Now there's two blasts. This blast, I'm going to call it noise. And the reason I'm going to call it noise is I'm going to, first of all, reverse the color. Instead of white, I want black. So I'm just going to press Control I, and that's going to make it all black. Control I. And make sure you're on the noise layer, not on the blast layer. That would be bad. And I'm going to go to make sure that my colors are black and white. So I click this little black and white picture. And I'm going to go to Filter, Noise, Add Noise. And I'm going to set it up so that it's monochromatic and Gaussian. I'm going to increase the amount to get some nice little noise going in there. You see that little noise stuff there? Isn't that cool? I'm going to click OK on that. And so I have this noise, but it doesn't look quite right. So I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, and click Motion Blur. Check this out. Bam! It looks like it's moving forward now. And I can increase the distance or decrease it. It's up to you. So I'm going to increase mine and click OK. Like that. And I can also colorize this if I want to. So if I go to Image, you might remember this from the Pumpkin Project. Image, Adjust, and Hue and Saturation. I can click Colorize and give it a color that I like for my effect. And then click OK. And then I can change the blending mode to maybe, let's see how overlay looks. No, I lost too much detail. Let's see, multiply. Multiply looks okay. I might lower the intensity a little bit. So I lowered the opacity a little bit. I'm going to duplicate the blast layer again. Drag it to the new layer button. And I'm going to put it above. And I'm going to call this new one, this new copy, Clouds. Clouds. Okay, so I have this layer called Clouds. Why am I calling it Clouds? Because, sillies, we're going to fill it with clouds. I'm going to hold Control and click on the thumbnail of this new Clouds layer. So it has a perfect selection right now. And I'm going to go to Filter. I'm going to go to Render. Check this out. Clouds. And now I have some clouds effects going in here. I'm going to deselect this. And I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, And we'll do another motion blur because I think it's going to look really cool. Filter blur, motion blur. And I love this project. It's just fun messing around. So you can see the difference before and after. And then I'm going to change the blending mode. Let's try multiply first. Screen where it looks good. There's my screen effect. And I'm going to do the same thing. Go to image, adjustments, hue saturation again. And colorize it. And I'm going to add color to this layer as well. So we'll increase the saturation. And I'm going to stick with that blue look like this. Okay, so it's starting to look good, but it's kind of like fuzzy. It doesn't have enough definition. So I'm going to make another layer. This time it's not going to be a duplicate. So I have blast, noise. These were all duplicates of the blast layer. But I'm going to make a new layer at the top and call it core, like energy beam. This is going to basically look like a lightsaber because I'm going to go to my rectangular marquee tool and I'm going to draw a rectangle. Now you might be thinking, Mr. J, lightsabers are not rectangles. But what you don't know is I'm going to go to select, modify, and guess what I'm going to choose? Feather. Click feather, and I'm going to feather it a lot. I think 100 is still good, so I'm going to choose 100 again. And then I'm going to fill this with white. So right now my background color is white, so I'm going to press Control Backspace. But if your foreground color is white, you press Alt Backspace. And then now I have this kind of cool effect, this beam in the center of it. And the cool thing is I can go to filter and liquefy again and make this energy beam squiggly. So I can just squiggle it like this. So it looks like an energy beam, like electricity. You see that? Yeah. There you go. Okay, so now we go. Now we have our kind of cool effect in the middle. I can add some color to it. So I can double click on the core. I can go to outer glow. And instead of a white glow, I can give it like a different color. Like the core can be red. So it's like red and blue together. Or you can do purple and blue. I'm going to do purple. Oh, that looks really good. So there we go. If I increase the spread, basically it's going to make it more intense close to the edges, which is what I want. So I'm going to increase the spread a little bit. Increase the opacity a little bit. And that's definitely the look I want. I like that. I think maybe I did too much. Let me go back into it. Hold on. Outer glow. Maybe a little bit too much opacity. There we go. So there's that effect going there. And if you want optional, like you can go to the noise layer and you can add an outer glow there too if you want. So outer glow again. If you want, this is up to you. If you want more glow and you like that glow effect, you can add some glow there. But this is the basic idea here. If you want to make it more intense as well, like let's say I want more clouds, I can just duplicate the clouds again and that'll make it more intense. And if I want to, I can change the color of this one to a different color too. So I can go to image, adjust hue saturation. At this point, I'm just messing around, having fun. So images, hue saturation, colorize, and give it a different color. And so it's like the different colors are interacting with each other, giving it a different kind of effect each time. So there's that. The problem is I can't see the ring anymore, so I'm going to move the ring above so I can see it again. So there's my ring. So I moved it at the top of the layers. And then one other cool thing you can do, which I really like and I recommend, is you can make a layer and call it sparkles. Yeah. Yeah, this is really cool. Watch this. Sparkles. I think I spelled that right. And then if you go on the brush tool, which is right here, I can choose a brush and I can just paint it with white. So I'm going to put white as my foreground. And I can just kind of click around, but that's not going to look good. Let me undo that. There's a cool thing you do. If you go to your brush and choose maybe like around 20 or so, and then go over here to where it has this little folder picture, and you click brush tip shape, you can increase the spacing like this so it separates them. So I put the spacing at 1000%. And I'm going to click on the words shape dynamics. Let's sleep. Shape dynamics and increase the jitter. The size jitter is going to make it randomize how big the size is of the brush when you click.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yep. Yeah. And then watch this. And I'm going to also make the brush softness like 0 or the hardness. And I might make it bigger too. Let's see how it looks. So right now if I click around, let me make it bigger. Actually 20 is too small. Let's make it a little bit bigger. There we go. So now if I click, you see it's like randomly making different sizes. I'm just clicking around. I can also like drag it too if I want. It'll still keep it random. But I want to like add some sparkles around it basically. And like it's like sparkles coming from back here. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole goal, is for it to look like power energy. And then maybe I'll add some more around the ring. So a lot around the ring. So I'm just drawing more here. And so there's that. There's some more advanced stuff we can do, like adding a color to myself. But I'm going to stop here for now for this video because we kind of went pretty long. But that's basically the idea. I have my sparkles. So if I go back, let me turn the visibility off so you can see kind of the steps that we went through. There we go. So we had the blast, which we added the effect to, the liquefy. And then we made a duplicate of it, added the noise. And then on top of that, we added the clouds. And I personally made a second clouds layer because I liked how it looked. And then I added a core. And then I added an ellipse, which was at the beginning. Oh, and by the way, on the ellipse, you can even change the color. If you go on the ellipse and you double click on this, you can make it any color you want, which is kind of cool. Like I can make it red. And wait, why didn't it do it? Did it mess up? Red. Oh, probably because of the effect is interfering with it, most likely. But anyway, you get the picture. And then sparkles, right? So that's everything. It's pretty fun. I like messing around like this. So I'm gonna stop the video here. Don't forget to save it. File, save as. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Save it in your folder. Don't forget to pay attention to where you save it. And that's it. 16 minutes, kind of long. But see you next time. Bye.